Alright, and with that, hello and welcome back to Banjo-Kazooie. So, yeah, hoping to get to Mad Monster Mansion, Rusty Bucket Bay, and Click Clock Wood today, but we'll see how it goes. I don't know how long each of these maps is going to take me, but I'm probably not going to be too thorough in any of them. And I'm going to be quite busy over the course of the next few days, and I wanted to get another part in before Halloween came around, because I know everybody's probably going to be quite busy for Halloween. So yeah, I'm gonna be quite a bit busy over the course of the next few days, so let's get on with it. So, if I remember my mapping correctly, Mad Monster Mansion, the portrait for it to unlock it is gonna be in a place that we haven't gone to yet. And I'm hoping I can remember how to get there because, like I said, it's been quite some time since I've played this game. I have played it quite a bit, but just not being familiarized with it is gonna pose a few problems, I think. But if my memory serves me correctly, we go up this way, and then we go into the room that's up here past the deserty area, I want to say? Or does this... No, this goes to Bubble Gloop Swamp. I want the other side. Oh, 100% plays. Good thing Mr. Monkey didn't get mad at me. Not that it really would have posed much of a, problem, but... Just good on-time conservation. Not that I'm a speedrunner, in case you couldn't tell. With as much as I fuck shit up. Surprised I'm not an error runner. They should make a category like that where you just fuck up the game as much as possible. I'd be great at that. I'd be undefeated. Yeah, okay, so we can't go in here yet, because that leads to a level that we cannot, at this moment, access, but it's gonna be the next map we're going to. Yeah, nice rhyme, Grunty. Why don't you fucking trash on me when you get a better skin complexion, huh? A little bit? Oh, that's not good. Good thing they can't swim. I don't know if you knew this, but, yeah. Sea mines cannot swim. Contrary to popular belief. I know they're stuck out in the middle of the ocean and shit, but... Yeah, I think this is where we have to go for now. Yeah, because we have to go through here to get to the portrait, don't we? To put the puzzle pieces into. And then this is one of the sickest level soundtracks in the game. But unfortunately we're not going to be able to hear it for at least maybe, I want to say 45 minutes, give or take. If my maths is correct, and I hope it is, because it usually isn't, but sometimes I get lucky and then I say that I planned it all along. And deceive you lot. Hopefully Mr. Chompy doesn't come over here as well. That would also suck. Come on, Banjo. Work with me here, pal. Yeah, so some not very difficult platforming segments. Perfect. This is where we have to go. Perfect. Yeah, so in case you couldn't tell, this Tim Burton looking map is going to be a kind of spooky level. Just in time for Halloween, so that's convenient, right? Not like I planned it, but... God's will, I guess. I fucked up enough just to be able to get here at this precise point in time right before Halloween comes around, so a little bit of convenience there, I guess. So yeah, we're off to Mad Monster Mansion. Again, that's in an area that we haven't seen yet, and then we have to do something over there that's gonna fucking mess with the water level, I think, if I remember right. And then that's gonna allow us to access this area later, because the water level is too low. So, Mad Monster Mansion is not one of my favorite levels. It has a cool atmosphere, but it's kind of tedious and annoying, and the navigation of it is a pain in the ass. And it's really easy to get lost in that level, so I'm really not looking forward to it. And Click Clock Wood is kind of a vertical level, so it has a lot of verticality. And a lot of annoying factors in it, where if you, fall down, you have to make the entire trek up again, and it sucks. And then you have to find a bunch of acorns and a whole bunch of stupid rareware bullshit. But it has a really kickin' soundtrack to it, so it's a really good level. Just purely for the soundtrack alone. Also, I'm hoping I could, not fuck this up and fall off of here. Because I probably will. Unless, yeah, perfect. Because I have nightmarish memories of trying to do this as a child, because you have to get over there with the pumpkin. And oh my god, the camera is a fucking nightmare on that part, and I remember falling off into that lava void like 5,000 times. And I fucking hated it. So before we go into Mad Monster Mansion and say hello to Tim Burton and Edgar Allan Poe, I want to come down here and see if we can access this door, because I can't remember if we can or not. But I think you need the pumpkin for it. Yeah, you need the pumpkin for it. Alright. Oh, you fuck. You big blue fuck. Luckily, you're not a bear like me, otherwise I would have made a joke regarding Bear's big blue house. This just reminds me of that one part of the Fire Temple on Ocarina of Time. Dude, don't even mention the Fire Temple in Ocarina of Time to me, please. That's also nightmarish. What's up, Red Koi? How's it going? I'm just digging back through some nostalgia playing some Banjo-Kazooie. This is one of my favorite games of all time, ever made. Like, undoubtedly. Like, unrivaled, unparalleled. Nothing deserves to exist in the same realm as this game. With its weird, oddly proportioned bats, and, its ridiculous logics, and whatnot. But, yeah, Ocarina of Time's Fire Temple, where you have to go out of your way to get the Scarecrow song, like I thought. Luckily, I'm really smart, and I think about that shit ahead of time, and I have it in mind, because if I didn't have it in mind, that would have been so much worse. I would have spent so many hours trying to figure out what the fuck to do, and I would have just been confused and lost and scared, like an orphan. Speaking of orphans, I just got done watching all of Black Lagoon, and it is so fucking goddamn good. Highly recommend, fucking incredible. I also got done watching Dead Man Wonderland, which I'd never seen before. And Dead Man Wonderland was really fucking weird. The premise to it was kind of interesting, but it was all in all pretty boring and pretty predictable. And the soundtrack to the intro was really good, but that was like the only really good thing about it, in my opinion. Probably gonna get a lot of flack for that, because I know a lot of people like it, but I don't see what's so impressive about it. I only have 2 eggs, maybe I should do this later. Luckily I can count, it's one of my strong suits. Unlike being able to move past fluorescent shower curtains. Fucking Jesus Christ. No wonder I play kids games on Twitch. Good lord. Stay away, Bat. Please. I don't need my pride sunk any further. What's up, Green Boy? Hello. But, yeah. I watched a few animes all the way through. I watched Dead Man Wonderland. I watched Another. Which is kind of about this classroom curse that, like, kills people or something like that. And, I watched Black Lagoon. And, Another was really good as well. It was not bad. It was pretty good. Oh yeah, so, this is really stupid. Check out the logic here. So, if you walk on the wooden floor panels, they squeak, and that wakes him up, and then you get fucked, and you can't get the puzzle piece. But, if you come down the chimney, jump onto a chair, and make a lot of noise by hopping onto the table directly behind him, he doesn't give a shit. So, yeah. That's why I said the logic in this level is kind of fucking retarded. It really is. So I'm hoping to get like maybe 8 puzzle pieces here, and then we can get the fuck out of this level, because I'm not really the biggest fan of this level, honestly. There's a lot of annoying platforming in it, and just several things that are kind of a pain in the ass. Like getting inside the church with the time limit is kind of a bitch. What else is a bitch in this level? Not being able to bust down wooden doors. I'm a bear, for fuck's sake. Give me the whole US National Guard. Fucking Grant Kirkhope and Rare holding out on me. I could take them all, I swear. That's not good. Come on. Quick. Quick. Alright. Is there really nothing in here? I just came in here for nothing? Alright. But yeah, I want to get out of this level, and I want to get to Rusty Bucket Bay in Click Clock Wood. I'm not the biggest fan of Click Clock Wood, but Rusty Bucket Bay is probably one of my favorite level ideas. And then I'm gonna do the final part of Banjo-Kazooie maybe in like 4 or 5 days, because over the course of the next few days, I'm going to be busting my ass doing some insanely heavy yard work, trying to get some money so I can buy some new stuff. Which reminds me, I'm probably not going to be playing anything else until maybe late November. And the reason for that is because the new games that are coming out that I want to get are all pretty much brand new, so they're going to be really expensive. And the money I'm going to get from my yard work, I want to wait until Black Friday. And maybe if I'm patient and I wait till Black Friday, I can get those games at a discounted rate, so I'm not spending as much. And I'm just going to get them all in one swoop, so late November, Luigi's Mansion 3. Maybe Code Vein in December. Maybe. I don't have any feathers, shit. The screen spooky fucker is gonna be problematic. And then, what else? What was it? Elden Ring is supposed to be due out sometime this year, but I doubt it, so it's probably gonna be an early 2020 release. Nioh 2 is going to be an early 2020 release. What else? I'm trying to think. There's some other games, but give me some time, I'll probably think of them. Played DK64 before. Is Banjo-Kazooie better than that? They're both good in their own respective rights. They're made by the same company. And Grant Kirkhope did the soundtrack for DK64 as well as this, so they're both incredibly good games. I played them both to high hell when I was little, and I recommend both of them. The OST for Crystal Caves is still one of my favorite Grant Kirkhope tracks ever composed, so... the thing I hate about DK64, though, is all the challenge barrels late game are a pain in the dick. Everything other than that is fine. These guys can't be killed without feathers. And, let me check what shed this is, because there's 2 sheds. This is the one with the ghost in it, isn't it? I don't want the one with the ghost. The ghost I have to kill with gold feathers, which I have none of, so that's gonna be problematic if I don't do that. These guys are not that bad. I can just run around them. Honestly, I should have saved a few feathers, but I had to be stupid and greedy. That's okay, though. I think there's a Jinjo over here, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. See, memory of this game does serve me well. I might want to get out of that. It might just be the lighting, but I don't really fancy dipping myself in green water. Something about that just screams bad idea. Oh yeah, this is the clock switch, so... I think I have to go over and break down the gate before we can do this. To, the cemetery portion of the map. And this is what I was talking about getting in here before the, time goes out. Because it's like a really tight squeeze. And don't laugh because I said tight squeeze, please. I'm not laughing, so neither should you, alright? But yeah, this part of the game is kind of annoying, and that's why I don't like about this level. There's a lot of concepts like this, or just annoying things that you have to deal with, and it kind of sucks. Oh, do I have to slam this switch? I think I have to slam it. Yeah, okay. I thought I was being careful and smart, but I'm not. Come on, Dame. I think I wasted like a second. I don't think I'm gonna make this. Especially not if that happens. Yep. Yeah, okay, well maybe if the game would have responded when I pressed the combination to do the thing that I wanted to do the first time I pressed it, we wouldn't have had that problem. Yeah, see, that's what I was talking about. The timing segments of this game are usually, like, really, really, really tight. And you have to do it, like, absolutely perfectly, otherwise the game fucks you and you gotta do it from the beginning, which is annoying. Alright. Let's try this again with no bullshit, shall we? Please, no bullshit. I can't see. Okay. I couldn't see because the camera wouldn't adjust, so... Back to do this again, how fun. That's why I don't like this level. There's a lot of concepts like this, and it's just kind of It wears on my patience. I'm not a patient person, and things like this are just unnecessary and annoying to me. Okay. Let's try this again. This is the last time I'm trying it. If I don't get it this time, I'm just gonna skip it, because it's a pain in the fucking ass. There we go. Okay, I don't know why that was so difficult before. It went perfectly fine that time. This part of the level is pretty neat, though. This is one of the creative elements behind this game that I really like. Once again, we're gonna have Kaede Akamatsu's help. Bless her soul. And we also get a skull for our trouble. Let's see if my memory is as garbage as I think it is, because I'm pretty sure it's trash. Because this is a little memory minigame, and I'm really bad at these, because my short-term memory is fucking horrific. It's so terrible. Somebody can tell me something, and I'll forget it like 2 or 3 seconds later, and then they'll be like, I told you to do this, and I'll be like, yeah, I don't remember that at all. So we'll see. Although I don't remember how to trigger this, if I'm being honest. I really don't remember how to trigger this. Maybe it just happens? Or maybe I gotta stand in a specific spot, or something like that? Yeah, there we go. Yeah, so this is the hand from Smash Brothers at the end of Melee that you have to fight. But since his career from Smash Brothers, he's retired and he's living a luxurious life with his grand piano. So he's just enjoying his retirement, kind of, just relaxing. And luckily he's not going to slap us around like a fucking cheap prostitute and shoot missiles at us and shit. So thank you for that, Master Hand. Although now he's known as Grandmassa Hand, because he plays the organ. Piano, whatever it is. So you gotta do this 3 times, if memory serves right. That was really close. The positioning almost fucked me in the ass. I should be really careful with that, but you kinda gotta be speedy, because he starts picking up tempo and going faster and shit. Also, again, positioning nearly got me fucked. Also, his song is very slow-paced. Which is lucky for us, because if we started going hyperspeed on Guitar Hero, we'd be kind of screwed, wouldn't we? Maybe that's a good thing that they haven't made a piano hero. Although Rock Band did do that thing where they introduced the keytar or whatever the fuck they did. Nope! Not what I wanted. Oh wow, oh wow. Thank you, game. Holy shit, they gave it to me even though I fucked it up with the positioning. Nice. See, that's how much this game loves me. Even when I fuck it up in the face, it'll still kind of suck my dick a little bit. Just because this game knows I love the hell out of it. How convenient is that? I thought I fucked it up and I would have to redo it from scratch. That would have sucked. Right, that's mightily convenient. So that's 3 jiggies for this level already. We're on a pretty good pace. Again, not that I'm a speedrunner. God forbid I ever become a speedrunner. Oh yeah, so we're gonna go up here, and if you fall from here, you fucking die, so. Oh no. You give me that. Fuck you. You know damn well that this is mine, and I fucking earned it, alright? Alright, come over here. You fuck. Should I? I should. Oh, camera. Oh, camera. Oh, camera, I can't tell the width of this platform. This is very not great. I'm gonna take this really fucking slowly. Jesus God Christ. This is one of the times where having a control stick that can go in 8 directions is not ideal. Ah, fuck me. Yeah, this is the N64 experience, for sure. Holy Mary Mother. Good lord. I cannot believe I survived that. I'm so proud of myself. No, here's hoping I don't have to trek back across. Is the piano below me? I feel like it is. Nice! So that's something that I learned a while back, is that the golden feathers will completely negate fall damage. And that's something I learned in Banjo-Tooie. I didn't know if it'd be in this game, but I just took a huge gamble, so... Luckily that paid off in our favor, because that would have been very bad news. Whew! Okay. So there's also another Jiggy that we can get right here, but I don't think I have the eggs to do it. Oh god, they're fast. You know, for being made of cement, you guys are pretty crafty there. Somewhere around here there's a window that, yeah, you can break. Or, yeah, go into. Oh yeah? Cool, maybe this will give me the eggs I need to be able to do this other Jiggy if I don't fuck it up too bad. Get out of my way. How the fuck are these things even alive? I mean, they're skeletons, right? So they don't have any organic makeup anymore. Like, they're completely, like... They have no internal organs. Like, how are they even working jaw muscle at that point to bite me? That makes no sense. Lucky I love you, Rare, because this is kind of getting ridiculous. I'm not gonna lie. Okay. Really? So for whatever reason, there was this weird, like, rumor going around for a while that when you shit in these flower pots, the graves actually say fuck you. And they clearly say thank you. Why would the graves say fuck you for shitting in their flower pots? Because, I mean, like, my shit blooms flowers, right? So it's not like it's a bad thing. It's not like it's a negative thing.
Thank you.
See? And also, I'm not going to be joining the NBA, the Nintendo Basketball Association, anytime soon. As trash as I am at this. Please. For the love of Christ himself. Oh. Jesus, man. If this was like Russian roulette, whether I got these in or not, I'd be dead like 15 times over by the time this is done, I assure you. Yeah, see? Stuff like that would happen. Bro. You are mighty welcome. Or Banjo could just be like a normal person and pull Kazooie out of his backpack and command her to shit over these flower pots, which is what I would do. It'd be way more efficient, and egg conservation would be through the fucking roof. Am I playing on an emulator? Yes. I have bought this game like 6 or 7 times over the course of my life, so I don't feel bad for downloading it once. I've supported Rareware through like every game they've made except Sea of Thieves. So I don't feel even remotely bad for downloading this game. I had this like 6 times on my Nintendo 64. One copy I lost. One I loaned to a friend, and then he broke it. And then another one got stolen. And then I had it on Xbox 360 Arcade. And then Microsoft fucked my gaming profile. And I lost all my stuff. So that's like 4 instances right there that I can recall from memory immediately of times that I've had this game. So yeah, I emulated it. I am emulating this, I do not mind at all. Also, these little floor decorations remind me of those little mint swirly candies, you know, the red and white ones that, you know, like 70 or 80-year-old grannies usually have in a dish that's like caked with dust, and they're like, oh, here you go, have a candy. And then you're just, like, not wanting to touch anything in the house. Not even remotely the candy that she's offering. I'm Tumblr the Mighty? Yeah. I think you serve a different existence in 2019, I'm afraid. You shouldn't be very proud of some of the things that you've done. Can't you configure the controller so it doesn't have that 8 thing? Probably, but I'm too stupid to know how to do it. Okay, so let me get a feel for where the letters are at. B and A are right next to each other. N is there. Okay, that'll be fine. He says. Yeah, go purple. Yeah, so sorry kids, Barney is taking up a new line of work as a spectral ghost who means to murder me. Aw, oh, god damn it, you son of a bitch. I was hoping to fucking outmaneuver him. Fuck off. Alright, where's K? And I need another A. Okay, there's that. Alright. If I play this safe, we should be fine, but if I'm an idiot, I'll die, so... I can't tell what letter that is. Game. Fuck me, wasn't A. I had a feeling it would be. Alright, Z. Z. Thanks. O. Where's my other O? I don't have much time. Fuck off, I'm so sick of that. I have to get this I, even if he knocks me off. Which he won't, because I'm a G-Lord. Fucking Christ in hell. That was slightly rough. I was cutting it a little bit close there. A little bit too close for comfort. That's why I didn't want to do that earlier. Because I thought this was a ghost that you had to kill with a golden feather. I forgot it was a ghost that you can't kill. Alright, well that's done. So, don't have to worry about that anymore, thank Christ. I do want to go for notes, but at the same time, notes are not going to mean shit. Really? Oh, fuck off. Like, I could see him. Camera cunt. Well... Oh, wait, can I keep the legs? No, I can't keep the legs. So if I can't keep the legs, how am I supposed to get all the notes? How am I really? Am I supposed to just do this 500 times until I get all the notes? That's fucking retarded. That could have been done a bit better. Okay, whatever, fuck it. I'm not gonna go after the remaining notes. It's pointless. Okay, what do we still need to do? I need some health, first of all. That purple ghost fucked me up. Barney doesn't pull no punches. Okay, I don't know where the hell my other honeycomb went, but fuck it, I guess. Right. Where's Mumbo's place? Because I don't know if I have enough skulls or not. If only I could kill all these skeletons and pick up theirs, but nope, the game doesn't work like that, unfortunately. Okay, there's some eggs, there's some notes. I remember this is pretty bad news if you go down here. I remember there's some tentacles. It's not very fun. Are these really just notes? I'm pretty sure there's a puzzle piece in there, but I think I need to be the pumpkin to get it. And I don't know where Mumbo's place is, because I can't remember. But yeah, I probably could adjust the control stick to be able to do different things, but I'm not too well versed in emulation. I still haven't figured out how to run, like, 4K graphic packs and stuff like that, so I can play, like, Paper Mario 1 in HD and shit like that. So I'm honestly just hoping Nintendo gets off their ass and fucking remakes them in a 4K definition for the new Nintendo Switch or something, to, like, commemorate an anniversary or something like that. Because the Paper Mario series were super good fucking games, and I'm surprised they haven't done it yet already. Because Thousand Year Door was one of the best-selling GameCube games. I think it was, like, within the top 3 or top 4? 5, maybe? So, like, I'm surprised they haven't done it yet, because there's a lot of people that want it, and I would definitely buy it. Hell, I'd buy a copy, and then I would keep a copy in its packaging just to have. And I don't have enough skulls, because of course I don't, because Mumbo is a fucking greedy asshole. Prick. Although there might be something of use up here, maybe. Hmm? A feather. Great. Brilliant. Thanks. Such a big help. Could get off that chair and do some work like you do in Banjo-Tooie, but never mind. Okay, what else can we do? We've done the flower pots, we've done the piano thing. Oh, you know what? There is something I can think of that we have to do. I don't know if it's on top of the church, though. I can't remember. I can't remember if it's up here. That's not what the fuck I pressed. Oh my god. This game is gonna piss me the fuck off. Can I just do it this way? Oh yeah, I can. Am I using Project 64? Yes, you guessed it. I've never had a problem with this emulator. There's some ROMs that don't run right. Like Resident Evil 2's ROM does not run very well. And it has a lot of black screen and graphical errors in certain spots. But, most everything I use on this runs perfectly, pretty much. And luckily it was on top of here that I was thinking of. Yeah, but I used Project 64 for, 64 games, and then I used Dolphin for GameCube games. And Wii games, I'm kind of trying to figure out how Wii games work, but there's certain instances that involve the Wiimote, and I haven't figured out how to set that up digitally yet. So Wii games are kind of off the table. But I do want to do Skyward Sword at some point. And there's some other stuff too, that I can't immediately think of that I want to get done at some point. My problem, though, is currently trying to figure out what to play after this. Because I'm not going to be able to get any, like, PS4 titles until mid-November, or late November, like I said. So I'm trying to think of other emulated stuff that I could play. But nothing comes to mind right now, because I kind of want to, like, keep it fresh and interesting and not play too much of the same kind of game. Yeah, on my version, as far as I know, you could deactivate the 8 thing in configuration, deactivate real N64 range. Yeah, I had a feeling that had to do with the way it controlled, but I don't know enough about it to want to tweak with the settings at all. This is the fucking hedge maze. The hedge maze can kiss my ass. And the reason for that is because there's a whole bunch of ghosts, and they can go through the wall and shit, and they're a pain in the ass. That's what I want. I just want that fucking Jinjo. Now, where's the yellow one? I honestly don't remember. Fuck you. Okay. All I want is the puzzle piece from the Jinjos, and then we can get the fuck out of here, but I don't remember where the yellow one is. I honestly don't. I need to turn into the pumpkin for this, I know that, but I don't have enough skulls for it, because I was stingy and I didn't want to go out of my way to pick them up. So... I could get out of this level for now, but I don't want to get 4 Jinjos and then leave the 5th one and then have to get them over again. That'd be a pain in the ass. Oh wait, you know what? There's a room that I haven't been up to. And I think that has the yellow Jinjo in it. Maybe. If I'm lucky. But I can't remember for sure. I know there's a honeycomb in it. Oh yeah, that's right. The yellow Jinjo's on top of the bed, isn't it? I think. Yeah, because I have to be the pumpkin to get that. There's no way to cheese it either. Unfortunately, like, there's no way where you can clip through the wood and get it. So I remember trying that before. Thank you, camera. Big help. Alright, so I've been in there, so it's definitely not that way. It's not on this level. I'm pretty sure I've been all through the ground floor, so I don't think it's there either. So it's gotta be one of these windows that's higher up. This bat is gonna be a prick, isn't it? Maybe not. Is this the window I'm thinking of? Did I really just nail it? Yeah, this is the bed I was talking about. Yeah, I had a feeling. Memory? Yeah, memory. I'm stuck in the roof. Okay. Fuck yeah, dude. I love it when my memory actually works well. And saves me a lot of trouble, but that's not very often. Okay, there's 7 Jiggies. I think we can get out of this level with 7 Jiggies. Fuck off. Can't you open this thing? Isn't there a way to bust this open? Or am I dumb? I'm dumb. Okay. I thought there was one of those, like, Easter eggs in there, or some shit like that. Oh, you know what? I might as well collect the notes while I'm here, just to up my score a little bit. I'm not worried about collecting all the notes. I am by no means 100%ist, or whatever the fuck those are called, completionists. I think is the, normal people term for that. Please don't kill me, thank God. Alright, let's get the fuck out of this level, because I've honestly had enough of this level. There's some jiggies in here that I can get off screen, just to, like, boost my number to make sure I have enough for the end of the game. But the end of the game is a little ways off yet. Although I do have to be the pumpkin to be able to raise the water level. Shit. I need more skulls, but I don't know where to get 2 more skulls from. So there's none here. Maybe I should have been collecting the skulls more. Fuck. How many do I need? Let me check real quick. You're about to get like a really weird pixely. I need 1 more. Fuck. Where can I get 1 more skull from? There's gotta be 1 more skull in here that I can get, because the pumpkin is mandatory, unfortunately. Is there one in here that I missed, by chance? There's a flight pad. Wait, what's up with the flight pad? Why would that be a thing? Oh, for an extra life? Alright. Might as well. Alright, so there's no skull in here, unfortunately. Fuck me. To be brick-walled by not having 1 skull. It's kind of a pain in the ass. Maybe I can do a suicide run through the maze. Doesn't a DK64 100% last a day? It certainly takes some fucking time. I don't know about a day, but it definitely sucks. I know that much. Oh, fuck off. Fuck you, dude. That's why I fucking hate this stupid maze. And they get to hack like that, which is bullshit. There's my skull. Alright. It's all Gucci. It's fine. He says. Alright, you can go fuck yourself. So I'm really tired of your ass. Yeah, I was never able to 100% DK64. There's always this one banana fairy that I couldn't get, and it's because it was locked behind a door. And you had to play this arcade game that I was really, really, really dog shit at. And that was the only condition to open that door, and I could never do it. And I was not a very patient child, and I was a very angry child. So every time I got close and I died, I would get really fucking pissed, so I just stopped worrying about it, and just considered it like something I would never be able to do. It's like an inner demon, but I'm not really worried about it anymore. It's kind of just like a fleeting memory of anger and resentment for that fucking stupid arcade game. Because you had to play, like, Jumpman, like the classic Mario, where you go up the iron girders and jump over the barrels and, like, kill the flames with the hammer and shit like that. But then there was this other game where you had to use, like, a jetpack or something and collect parts to build a ship or some shit, I think. And, that was the one that I was fucking awful at. I was so terrible at that. And I would get killed by things that would just randomly fly, like, into the screen that I could just not see coming, really. And there was no pattern to it, so there's nothing that enabled me to kind of catch on and be able to complete it. So, I was able to get all the, golden bananas, all the banana fairies, except for that one fairy. I was able to get all the fucking stuff, and I never got around to completing it. Yeah, this is what I need. I need to be the pumpkin. I want to get this puzzle piece while I'm here. And then we can fuck out of this level for good, because fuck this level. I hate this fucking level. There's supposed to be a hole in a hedge that we can jump through or some shit, if I remember right. And I don't remember where that is. I don't think it's in the maze. I could be wrong. But I don't think it's in the maze. I think we have to take the long way around, unfortunately. That's cool, though. That's fine. So, I'm gonna get this puzzle piece in the well, or whatever the fuck it is, by falling down the pipe, and then we're gonna go out of here, and we're gonna go into the place, and then we're going to press the water switch, and then we can get the hell out of here. Isn't there supposed to be a hole in a wall somewhere around here? Yes, this is what I meant. This is exactly what I was talking about. let me learn from my past mistakes and pick that up while I'm here. How are you doing, by the way, Red Koi? Hopefully you're well. I haven't been streaming as much lately, and it's not because I don't have a drive for it anymore. I definitely still have the drive for it, but it's just I have nothing to play. So because I have nothing to play, there's not really much any point to me, like, coming on here and just being a fucking idiot doing shit that people have seen before. And that's why, like, not to, like, poke any shade at any of the Dark Souls runners, but I don't understand how people can be so patient and just view the same thing 1,000 times. Like, people that do Dark Souls challenge runs or 100% runs or, like, lore runs, like, how many times can you see the same exact shit before you just get sick of it? You know what I mean? So, like, when I first kind of established myself on this platform and I kind of became known in my respective kind of community, or whatever the fuck, I wanted to push the fact that I was not a challenge runner or Souls player, like, specifically, you know what I mean? Like, I don't revolve my life around that game. It's just a game that I do enjoy, but I'm not gonna play it 1,000,000 times. Finished Danganronpa V3, how did you like it? It's one of my favorite Danganronpa games, but I also hate it at the same fucking time. I'm sure you know why. It ruins fucking literally everything, but it's so masterfully done. It is such a good fucking game. I just hate it. I can't not hate it. I want to not hate it, but I can't not hate it. It's just one of those. Oh, do I have to change back into the pumpkin to be able to get out of here? That's kind of a bitch. Alright. That's fine, though. That kind of sucks, though, because we have to run around as the pumpkin for a little while. Almost in the same position, I just love how it denies 3's existence. Yeah. See, I love the characters and the cast of V3, and I love the plot. And I love the fucking mind games and shit like that, because it had the most, like, turns and twists in it, but everybody having a completely, like, preset personality kind of ruined it for me. God, this dude is track and field star, isn't he? Yeah, but, like, everybody having a preset personality, or, like, something that is falsely implanted or whatever the fuck, kind of ruins it for me. It's also cool, though, because what better way to make a Danganronpa game than to introduce characters that, like, they come in and they're like, yeah, fuck this, or whatever, and then they, like, completely rewrite their personality, so it's like they don't even know themselves to begin with. It's pretty cool. Like, the way they orchestrate the story is really well done. It's a great game. I love it, but I hope there's more Danganronpas in the future, and I hope that was just bullshit and it's not canon for shit. And it was just kind of like a one-off for Kodaka to, you know, kind of say fuck you to the fans or whatever and just do whatever the hell he wanted and mess with people as, like, a funny. Because he can kind of, like, manipulate shit however he wants. And I hope it was kind of like that. Instead of being, like, a canonical thing where, like, I'm hoping Samugi was, like, just fucking with everybody, you know what I mean? And, like, they actually are real people. And, like, none of that shit was actually real, but she made it seem like it was real. Like, I hope it's that kind of a thing. And, people keep saying there's not gonna be any more Danganronpa games, but I don't think that's exactly true. I think there will be more games. It's just probably gonna take a while, and Kodaka wants to do some other stuff. And he wants to take kind of a rest, you know, from it, because he's been doing it so much, and he's been keeping up with everybody's demand, but he's kind of putting his foot down, saying, hey, like, I'm the creator of this, I want to do other stuff, leave me alone. Like, I have the full creative freedom to do whatever the fuck I want. Like, be patient. And I'm sure he'll do more later, when he feels like he's up to it and he wants to. Because, like, I know with V3 he did everything he wanted to do with the series, but that doesn't mean that he'll change... That doesn't mean he won't change his mind in the future, you know what I mean? Like, he might come to the frame of mind where he wants to continue with it, and do more stuff, and just, like, elaborate on the story. Like, we might get another Ultra Despair Girls type, which I'm not really into, personally. I like the ones that are where you get to know the characters and spend time with them, and then people just randomly die or whatever. And then trying to figure out the murders and stuff like that. I love that prospect. I love that kind of thing. So it's like, I don't want the way I engage those games to change. And that's my ideal version of the game. I like how it is, as is. And I'm not saying, you know, he shouldn't be able to do the other shit he wants to do. I'm just saying that, like, me personally, that's the way I prefer the games, so. I hope we get more, like, detective-based Danganronpas in the future, where you, kind of put the murders together and try and figure out who it is, and then, like, have the whole class trial aspect kind of thing. Nice. I couldn't remember if I could break this or not. Just thought I would try. Yeah, this is Rusty Bucket Bay's picture, isn't it? Up in this bit. Yes, it is. Perfectamundo. Right, so we're at least getting to Rusty Bucket Bay. I usually try and keep these videos around like an hour and a half. That way they're not too long. So we'll go dick around in Rusty Bucket Bay, but I don't think we're gonna get to Click Cluck Wood today. So, because of the pacing that I'm going at, I'm guessing Click Cluck Wood is probably gonna be its own little video. And then I'll do the final segment of the game all in one shot, including the final minigame and the boss fight and all that shit. Because there is gonna be a boss fight at the end of this game. And it's a really well done boss fight too, in my opinion. I think it's really good. I think it's better than the final boss fight of the second game, but that could just be me. Wait, do I want to go back in here? Am I stupid? I think I'm stupid. Yeah, but the characters of Danganronpa V3, I love. Like, Shuichi, I love, like, his character development. It just, I hate to see so much good character development just thrown away for a bullshit plotline. But it's a good bullshit plotline, and that's what I hate about it. Like, it's so fucking brilliant. It throws all the right turns and curves in, like, it makes you second guess yourself at all the right points, like, the story construction is just perfect. But the fact that it's all kind of, like, thrown to waste by, like, being falsely projected or whatever the fuck kind of ruins it for me. But, like, at the same time, I bet Kodaka was sitting there and he's like, what haven't we done yet? And he's like, oh yeah, why don't we just make a batch of characters that literally have no personality, and then let's just give them false personalities and revolve a plotline around it. And it was brilliantly done. But it's just like, V3's cast is my favorite Danganronpa cast, and then to be in my most hated but most loved game of that franchise kind of fucking pisses me off. Again, not that it's bad, I think it's really good, but it just sucks. Give me health. Oh, this is the switch for the fans. Yeah, fuck this shit. I have nightmares of the engine room. You ask anybody what their fucking agita and bad memories of this level are, guaranteed 100% of the time they're gonna say engine room. I guarantee you. Luckily, in this day and age, we can emulate games and have save states and shit like that, but back in the day, you weren't allowed to do that on N64, back in the good old days. So, like, imagine you go through the level collecting all the bullshit, and then you do the engine room last, and then you fall off and die because of some stupid bullshit. It's just, it's so shitty. So, like, everybody's like, always do the engine room in Banjo-Kazooie first, and then you don't know what it means until you get there, and then you're just like, I hate everything. If he ever makes a new Danganronpa, I think it would be a spin-off because of its message, and give it a new vision to the same message like before, or after the Samugi thing. Yeah, that's what was so good about it, though, is basically my buddy told me that V3 was basically a remake of the first game, and I was like, a remake how? And he's like, you'll see. So, basically, Once you get to the end of the game and you realize that the entire school is constructed just like the original school was, what with the hidden panel, the reason they keep that information from you is because you'd be able to easily figure out the plot. But the thing that pisses me off is I knew from the beginning Tsumugi had something to do with it, and I asked my friend about it like 45 times, but he didn't want to spoil me, so I didn't want him to say anything that would have made me think a particular way. But, like, what pissed me off is I was onto her from the beginning, and when I asked him, I was like, okay, so maybe the real Tsumugi is dead and this is like a fake or something taking her place, and just pretending to be her to manipulate everybody else? Is it something like that? And he's like, no, it's nothing like that, forget about her. Like, she's literally just a character. Like, it's supposed to, like, take your suspicion, and that's what she's designed to do. And I was like, oh. So I'm just reading too much into it. And he's like, yeah, you're reading a bit too much into it. And I was like, oh, fuck. But I had the whole thing figured out directly from the beginning of the game. Like, in the library, I was like, couldn't Tsumugi potentially have killed Rantaro instead of Kaede? And then it's like, at the end of the game, it turns out I was totally fucking right. And I was really frustrated, but I was kind of proud that I was on the right track from the beginning, that sort of thing. But of course, like, nobody spoiled me over the course of the game, so, like, I had a perfect experience of V3, exactly what I wanted. And, it went exactly as I hoped it would. But it still kind of pissed me off to know I was right the whole time, that kind of a thing. Because if I would have known that Tsumugi potentially could have killed Rantaro, like, to begin with... Yeah, that's also the thing, is the hidden passage didn't come into play at the very end, until the very end of the game. And I knew it was important, and I was on it for so long, but nothing came of it, so I eventually just forgot about it. And then if I would have factored that in, the fact that this passage was in the library itself, I would have put the whole plot together, and I would have been like, oh, I got it. But because of that one little detail and me being so focused on everything else, I completely forgot about it. And then it came into play at the very end of the game. Because I knew the mastermind was using the passageway. But then, like, during the whole first class trial, I was like, wait, Tsumugi was in the bathroom that whole time. And then I was like, but maybe that has something to do with it. And then I was like, wait, what could that possibly have to do with it? That doesn't make any sense. Because of other, like, time signatures and other characters that were in certain places, it wouldn't have made sense. There was no potential way it could have made sense at the time. So I just completely threw out that theory that Tsumugi could have potentially done it. And then the game turns around and says, fuck you, we'll check this shit out, here you go. And then I was like, oh, well damn, like, I was on the right track from the beginning, I just didn't have anything to support my theory, and that's kind of how my friend works. He's like, okay, well, if you think this way, like, how are you gonna back it up? And I told him, I was like, okay, well, if circumstances are like this, and this character is here, and this character was here, and this happened at this point in time, this person could have potentially did something that I don't have any knowledge of, that I can't possibly have knowledge of at this point, and they did something that influenced this specific event to happen, you know what I mean? Or they had a part in this that turned this, like, chain of events or something. And he's like, yeah, but it hasn't happened, so how are you gonna say that's how it happened? And I'm like, no, I'm just saying potentially. This could have been how it happened, like, theoretically. But I can't prove it because I don't have anything to base it on, because I have no evidence at this point in time, so... But, like, V3's story was masterfully done. I thought it was really, really good. I thought it was insanely good, but I don't know, that game pisses me off for reasons. And it just frustrates me that it was that simple the whole time, and I knew it was that simple, and then I forgot about how simple it possibly could have been, and I started focusing on so much bullshit that didn't matter at all. And I just fucked it up for myself, but I'm also kind of glad that I fucked it up for myself. The only downside is Chapter 3. Did you find Chapter 3 fucking stupid too? Because there's so much shit in Chapter 3 that makes no fucking sense. Like, the way they describe the blade makes no fucking sense, because they went through the trouble... Well, yeah, it was so obvious, and that's what threw me off, is I thought it was more complicated than it was, but I had the whole idea figured out from the beginning. But What pissed me off is literally they give the specifications of the cage, but it makes no sense, because the way they construct it to go down doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, they sit there and they say, okay, the cage's holes are this big. And then they say, oh, yeah, this statue would weigh this down and keep it from fucking doing this or whatever. But there's no way they wouldn't have noticed the blade at the top of the cage putting the statue on. There would have been a bump in the sheet, so that doesn't make any fucking sense. Number two, how would you set the blade up to do what the blade did without kind of changing, you know, the way the blade is facing or whatever? Like, it makes no sense. So, like, okay, let me put this into perspective. There's the cage, right? And then there's the holes of the cage that are too small for the blade of the sickle to fit through, right? So they go out of their way to give you that detail, and then they're like, oh yeah, but Shuichi and Kokichi didn't notice the lump that would have been in the sheet on the flat dome cage, right? Because there's a handle to the sickle, and that would have been poking up. They surely would have seen that, right? Unless, of course, when they were carrying the statue and the statue blocked their vision or something, I could imagine that, but that's not how it went down, right? And then they're saying that this blade on the cage just happened to sit completely straight upward with the blade facing down instead of laying flat, and they took the time to put this giant heavy dog statue on it, and there was no tell that there was a blade under it or some kind of object underneath it. Because if you think about it, no matter how heavy that statue is, when they set that statue on the cage, the statue would have been lopsided because there would have been a lump on top of the cage, right? That doesn't make any sense. The statue wouldn't have been sitting straight, and they would have been like, why the fuck is this thing angled? Or why does it look like it's tilting? And they would have been like, hold on, wait a minute. And they would have fucking seen the sickle, and they would have known that Korekio was behind it because the statue came from his room and he planned the whole thing. So that's why that case doesn't make any fucking sense to me, and that's why it's so stupid. That one is the only one that is very terribly done. It's so nonsensical, and it's a fucking stone's throw. You know what I mean? 312-111. 312-111. 312-111. 312-111. So, yeah, the thing that pisses me off is how little sense that chapter makes. There's absolutely nothing that supports that that would have happened exactly the way it did. The part about Anji being hit in the head with the plank or whatever, I figured that shit out, like, way early. The golden fucking sword handle being used to freaking manipulate the doorknob? I figured that shit out, too. No, Tenko's pose made complete sense, but the sickle part of it doesn't. The sickle part is completely far-fetched. It makes no fucking sense. There's no way that would have happened like that. Like, they're saying the statue weighed down the sickle, so the force of Tenko's body flying into it from being propelled by the floorboard made the sickle stay in place. Yes, that does make sense. That makes complete sense. But also, there's no way the sickle would have stayed completely like that and had them not notice. That's what pisses me off. There's no way they wouldn't have noticed. It's so ridiculously stupid. There would have been a lump in the sheet because the top of the cage was flat. It was a dome. But the top of the cage, you would have easily noticed a bump in the fabric or the cloth that Korekio used in that case. So that doesn't make any fucking sense. There's no way that would have gone unnoticed, and that's what makes it fall through for me. Other than that, I think it was pretty well constructed. The fact that they took something from 2 and they repurposed it to make it something brand new, and they made it different while using the same concepts is very, like, the ingenuity behind that is definitely, like, I gotta give them props for that, because that's probably really hard to construct just from, like, a frame of mind aspect before you're going through the creation of it and all the troubleshooting and stuff to make that happen. But the thing I hate about that is that it's just fucking, the blade part of it is far-fetched as fuck. It is. It's far-fetched as shit. Also, how did the sickle get under the floorboard? I highly doubt Korekio would have been able to pick up that sickle and toss it into a gap in the floor without anybody noticing. Also, how did it get directly under the cage? Like, okay, if Tenko was on the floorboard that Korekio had loosened, right? There's no way the sickle that was sitting on top of the cage would have possibly fallen through the floorboard if it was on top of the cage and that's where it was, you know. There's no way the sickle could have gotten under the floorboards without anybody noticing. There's no point in time where Korekio could have gone. I mean, I guess maybe what they're trying to say from the evidence at the scene is that with the line of salt, Korekio knew his way around the room. And he took the sickle while it was still dark and he threw it under a gap in the floorboard. Right? Without anybody noticing. But the logic behind that is also fucking stupid. Because it would have made a noise, right? Like the sickle going ka-pling, pling, ting, and like hitting the floor would have made noise, correct? And that would have made them suspicious of something. But that didn't tip them off? Or maybe he did it while the song was still being sung or something like that in the middle of the song, and that's why they couldn't hear the sickle being moved. But also, if you think about it, if Korekio was trying to get to the sickle, he would have had to lift the giant wooden dog statue, right? Which they already established took multiple people to be able to carry, and they were able to barely manage it. So one person being able to lift it by himself and taking the sickle and then throwing it into the corner of the room, given the time frame, without anybody noticing, that's no fucking way. Like, I'm sorry, but no fucking way. There's no way. That couldn't have possibly happened, and that's why I hate that chapter. It makes no fucking sense. Like, when I played that, I failed that chapter like 3 times. And that's just because none of the logic added up at all. Like, none of it added up. I understood what they were going for, but the evidence I had didn't match how they were saying it went down, if that makes sense. There's just no fucking way it could have went down like that. And I gave evidence to support my theory, too. And then people tried to call me out on it, and I'm like, no, 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 because you're missing this little detail right here. Or this detail would change the fact that this went down like this, or whatever. And it's just, it's bullshit. Like, that chapter is fucking garbage. Nobody's ever gonna convince me that that chapter is well made. The only thing well made about it is that they took something that they've already used as a concept and they repurposed it to do something different. That is the only good thing about that chapter. Other than that, it's complete horseshit and I don't buy it. It's fucking crap. There's no way. Like, I get the setup and everything, I get Korekio trying to frame Himiko, because I thought it was Himiko too at first, but I thought it was her for different reasons. I thought it was her, like, being actually, like, okay, you know how they introduce a character, and then the character usually goes through, like, some sort of personality change or some sort of mental snap? I thought it was gonna be something like that. And Himiko was just, like, looking really innocent, but she was actually fucking with everybody and she wasn't innocent at all. Or something like that. And then she killed Tenko or whatever, and then it would have been obvious that Korekio did it, so you pick him, but it was actually fucking Himiko the whole time. I thought it was gonna be some sort of, like, crazy mind game like that or something. But it wasn't. And it was more simple than I thought, so I definitely overthought the chapter, but it turning out to be Korekio is still fucking stupid because it doesn't make any goddamn sense. There's no way that can make sense to me. Just the sequence of events, the fact that they're just gonna say, oh, this happened because it happened? Nah, I'm sorry, but no. There's no fucking way. Nobody's ever gonna convince me that that chapter is legit. It's fucking garbage. It's an ass pull. And usually Danganronpa's really good about, like, making their stuff believable. And they have a whole bunch of, like, small evidence to support it, and a whole lot of facts, and a whole lot of, like, calculations and shit. But there's also something about Chapter 2 that didn't make any goddamn sense. That was really fucking stupid, and I think it was something involving the friction of the rope. If a rope made of fibers and twine was rubbing against a metal rope that forcibly, it would have definitely snapped. Like, I'm sorry, but that would not have worked. Especially with the amount of weight that was on that inflatable thing that was tied to the thing. That would have fucking snapped. I'm sorry, but no. Because the rope was tied to the inner tube, and then that rope was slung over the other rope that was tied to the end of the metal cable, right? But here's the thing, the rope sliding across the other rope with the amount of friction that it had would have definitely fucked it up. Because if Kurumi had to tie one end of the rope to the metal part of the rope to make sure that it reached the span of the pool area to get to the gym, that means that the frickin' part of rope that the inner tube is attached to would have had to go over the metal part of the rope, yes? Or the metal cable. There's no fucking way that you can put 2 bodies worth of weight plus an inflatable inner tube that would have been decently heavy itself, maybe like 20 pounds, plus the body weight of the average female, which would be like maybe like 130 pounds, or somewhere around that, maybe like 120, 130 pounds roughly, and then taking Ryoma's weight and how much muscle mass that he's gained over the course of playing tennis, and just being male, like even given his height, even factoring that in, that would have been like, what, roughly, I want to say Ryoma was at least like 90 pounds, given his size. So, given his size and his bone structure and shit like that, I would say that, see, like, Kurumi was probably like 130 pounds, maybe 125 pounds, something like that, plus Ryoma's weight, so that would have been already like 230 pounds, at least. Plus the inner tube, 250, 260 pounds. I'm sorry, but that would not have worked like that. There's no fucking way. Like, my grandfather is a mathematician, that would not have worked. Like, I'm sorry, that would not have worked the way they said that it worked. I got the idea. I was pretty onto Kurumi from the beginning, actually. And that's why, like, in the middle before the chapter started, or the trial started, I was like, I have a pretty good idea of who did this, and I don't like the result of where my mind has brought me. Because Kurumi was one of my favorite characters, so... Although, like, I did think before I played V3 that she was going to be a murder victim and not a murderer. But then I was also thinking along the path that Kurumi definitely shows the level of intelligence that would have been required to pull this off. And that's where my deductive skills have brought me. So, like, I think Kurumi is definitely capable of having done this. So, yeah. Oh, there were some parts of V3 that were fucking bullshit, and I don't agree with at all. But, like, the first trial, the first chapter, I pretty much fucking nailed. Except the part with Kaede, because I did not know you could select yourself as a murderer. Because you don't... Okay, you don't accuse somebody of murder by selecting yourself. Because accusing somebody of murder is in regards to somebody else. That's pointing blame and suspicion towards somebody else, right? You don't do that to yourself. You can confess to murder, and that makes sense, but that would have given away the plot. So they couldn't have done that, so they just said, oh, accuse yourself of murder. I'm sorry, but that doesn't make sense. You can't do that. You can't accuse yourself of murder. And I was like, okay, well, if it's not fucking Mew, it's not Shuichi, and Rantaro didn't kill himself, then it had to have been Kaede. But the logic in my head was like, but you can't select yourself, so what the fuck? Like, I don't understand. It was such a simplistic thing. But I thought it was so much more complicated, given the fact that I did not know that you could possibly select yourself, because I was not in the frame of mind to be paying attention to that, if that makes sense. It's just another Chapter 3 syndrome. It happened on every Danganronpa for some reason. No, see, Chapter 3 of Danganronpa 2 makes perfect sense. I figured the murder behind Chapter 3 of Danganronpa 2, I figured out, like, in the middle of the investigation. I was like, yeah, it had to have been Mikan. And the reason it had to have been Mikan is because, given the information, it would have had to have been somebody in the hospital that could have manipulated these devices, given the time frame. Number one. Number two, I don't know what her alibi is before she woke up with fucking, Hajime. I only know what she's been doing from the frame of time when she woke up. But I don't know what she was up to before Hajime woke up. And, like, if she had been sleeping under Hajime or something like that, yeah, it wouldn't have made sense. And I couldn't have blamed her. But given how she woke up on top of him, I was like, okay, she could have waited until he fell asleep. She would have had free reign to move around and do whatever. Everybody else would have been asleep. She could have set all this shit up to happen in advance, whatever. Blah, 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 blah. I also had a feeling that she would have given a false autopsy at one point. And how the rope was used just happened to be her false autopsy, and I was onto that when the rope looked frayed and shit like that. I was like, okay, so obviously there was some force involved. So I don't believe that Ibuki hung herself. I think that's bullshit. So I'm already suspicious of Mikan from right there. So I figured out Chapter 3 pretty fucking fast. Chapter 3 of Danganronpa 1. What was Chapter 3? Oh, that was Celeste's, wasn't it? Yeah, Celeste's kind of confused the fuck out of me at first, but, like, when I look back on it, it's a lot more simplistic than I thought. But yeah. I don't know. Usually Danganronpa is pretty, like, well thought out, very well constructed, and it makes a lot of sense, but that crucial part of Chapter 2 is bullshit. I can honestly say that's fucking bullshit. Chapter 1 is fine, makes sense. Chapter 2, fine. Chapter 4, fine. Chapter 5, fine. Chapter 3, fucking utter bullshit. That was the thing about Chapter 4, too, is I was already onto the right idea, but my frame of thinking, I hadn't taken into account that the places were parallel and connected, pretty much. So, like, I forgot that they were parallel to each other, and that Mew could have crashed into the side of the church with force. Because obviously it had to have been done with force to make that much noise. But I didn't bring into the small part of the equation that the roof was at an angle, right? So I was thinking that they just simply moved the board back across, and they figured out the trick to the river. Because, okay, if they put the board in the river and it washes up at the other side, they could have easily picked it up, and just put it back, and then carried Mew's body across, and then put it on the opposite side of the map. And that would have made complete sense. But the way they did it was a little different, but I still had the right idea. And I knew it was Kokichi from the fucking beginning. Of course, Kokichi didn't murder Mew. He didn't murder her per se, but it was his intention to do it, and he basically orchestrated her murder by manipulating Gonta, right? So he was the mastermind behind it, right? So, like, Danganronpa's rules get a little bit skewed right there, so it's like, if there's an accomplice or whatever, it's the person who hatched the plan to begin with that's to blame if you get caught, right? But when it comes to being able to manipulate somebody else, as long as they carry out the murder, you're clean and fine. And also, I figured out it was Mew's intent to kill Kokichi, and that's why the bottle of poison was there, because she was going to blame Kaito for it. I pieced all that shit together. The only thing I was incorrect about was how the level worked, like how the map worked. But I was onto the right track, I had the right idea. I just figured, like, this could have been a lot simpler, but for the sake of Danganronpa, they had to overcomplicate it like fuck to make it interesting. And that's kind of where I think Chapter 4 falls through, but everything other than that is fine. So, like, just that little bit of Chapter 4, which is honestly kind of a nitpick, in my opinion. If I'm being fair, it is a bit of a nitpick. Like, to give it credit, it's a bit of a nitpick, but Chapter 3 was fucking bullshit. Nobody's ever gonna convince me that Chapter 3 was good. Chapter 3 was fucking garbage. I figured out that somebody hit Anji in the head with the plank. I figured that shit out. Given the blood on the plank. I figured out that the sword was used on the door handle. You know what I mean? Oh, I need more notes. Fuck. I figured all that shit out, but there's no way that makes sense to me. I'm sorry. That chapter was poorly done. It's easily the worst. Chapter 1, as simplistic as it was very good in structure and very good in design, and it made a lot of sense. Chapter 2, same thing, except for the rope part. The rope and the cable part, fucking bullshit. I'm sorry, but there's no way. And then Chapter 3, utter horseshit. Chapter 4 was great, but I think that it was made overcomplicated when it could have been a lot simpler. Just for the sake of complication and... What's the word? Vaguity? Like, where they just make it overly complex on purpose? Yeah, I always liked Kokichi, but, like, Mew was one of my favorites, and that pissed me off, because I always knew she was gonna die, I just didn't know when. But I knew they were gonna kill her off. And, given that Chapter 4's entire premise was all based around electronics, I knew it was her time to go, and I was really upset and not happy, because Mew was so much fucking fun. But yeah, Gonta being the murderer of chapter fucking 4 was kind of a weird thing. And like I said, I feel like they overcomplicated it just to make it overcomplicated, just for the sake of being interesting. And that's not a bad thing. I mean, that's not a bad thing, which is why I say it's more of a nitpick than anything. But Chapter 5 was also very simple. In Chapter 5, the only thing I fucked up about Chapter 5, I figured all of Chapter 5 out. I figured almost everything out about Chapter 5 except for the way the camera worked in the intervals or whatever the fuck. That was the only thing I didn't figure out that the electro bombs had any effect on, because I thought they'd be out of the vicinity of the way the bombs worked. So I didn't think the bombs would fuck with the camera. I knew they would fuck with the press, and I knew the hammer was going to be involved. I figured all that shit out. I figured out the fucking arrows being dipped in the poison and shit like that. I figured that out. Like, I figured all that stuff out. The only thing that I honestly didn't piece together that I kicked myself was the blood smear on the floor and the back of Kokichi's clothes in the toilet. Because that would have brought the whole thing together, right? I would have been like, okay, well, obviously Kokichi's the one in the press, because if you look at the stain on the floor and you look in the press or whatever, yeah, blood in the press, blood on the floor, Kokichi has blood on the back of his clothes. But that doesn't mean that Kaito and Kokichi couldn't have switched clothes, and then, you know, it was the opposite way around, so... I think Chapter 5 was really well done, because it was Kaito's clothes in the press, right? But maybe Kokichi could have undressed, given Kaito his clothes or whatever, and then Kokichi could have been dressed in Kaito's clothes, and that's why his clothes were in the press, or whatever the fuck. So, I didn't know what to think of Chapter 5, but I figured out the majority of it, pretty much. And I knew Maki was involved, and I knew Kaito was involved, and I knew Kokichi was involved. So, Chapter 5 was good, Chapter 1 was good, Chapter 2 was good, Chapter 4 was pretty good, Chapter 3 is fucking bullshit. That part of the game, fuck off. Nobody's ever gonna convince me that that's good. But anyway, there's a little bit more of Banjo-Kazooie. I'm gonna head off for tonight, and we'll do Click Clock Wood, and maybe the final part of the game tomorrow, depending on how long Click Clock Wood takes me. And I'm gonna get the rest of the notes and the jiggies and bullshit off screen, so you don't have to sit through it and just hear me ramble for hours, because I'm nice like that. So thanks for coming, Red Koi. I'll see you later. Have a good night.